Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA and on your favorite podcast channel. Also, don't forget to go to our website at answersforelders.com. And by the way, you will see about 100 podcasts in the search box. If you put in Daphne Davis, you will see a bunch of podcasts that can truly help you and your family in these times of transition. And so, Daphne, speaking of families, you've talked about a lot of like warning sign, but I think we need to talk about the family in general. How can families get on the same page? That's a tough one. How can they best be the best support to their senior loved ones?
Mm-hmm. My first golden tip would be, if anyone has an opinion or wants to be a part of a process or will have a thought about what should happen with mom and dad, they need to be involved in gathering the information from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs to hear the conversations. Everyone needs to get the printed matter. Everyone, even if they say, I trust you, you take care of it. Because inevitably, we're curious people. We're going to ask a question, and the person who's at the front line is going to go, I've done all this work already. I've narrowed it to these things. You said you trusted me, but everyone has questions. Everyone has their own perspective.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, dad can do that. What are you talking about?
Or I saw dad last week and, he seemed fine. Well, dad isn't just fine. Dad can be fine for an hour or so, but then, those are the things that happen.
Those conversations need to be collective. I encourage people to have a third party. If you have a situation where, someone lives out of town, or the relationships between child and parent are strained or very different, or there's 19 years between the oldest and the youngest siblings, there's going to be different perspectives. Have these conversations together.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would really suggest is having it agreed upon by all people involved that we are going to stick to the following highest values, which means you go through a process of discovering what are the highest values from your perspective as a child. What are the highest values for you, for your parents?
What is an example of that? When you say
example would be,
values?
Mom could never give up her gardening. She's got to have some kind of place to be gardening.
Got it.
That's a high value in terms of if they're going to assisted living or independent living.
Yeah.
She's got to have her garden. I mean, can you imagine not having the cherry tomatoes?
Yeah. No. Dad has to have a TV room. Dad has to have his own space. He has a collection that he has to keep. Those are things that are important.
Yep. So you're discovering those highest values. There might be something from a religious point of view. It might need to be close to their church or their synagogue. That's a high value. We got to be able to have the people pick them up to get them to church or worship of any kind. Those kinds of things. There might be a high value, a difference in perspective concerning finances.
Yeah.
Mom and dad have money. Let's just assume they have some money that they can privately pay for their own care, and they've worked hard for that. And they absolutely, from my perspective, should spend their money on themselves.
Right.
But there might be mom or dad that says, no, we got to leave something for our kids. You as the kids need to say collectively, no, mom, no, dad, we're fine. But if there's one that hiccups, or one that says, no, we should, whatever they want to do, we should honor that, then you're going to get dissension.
Yep.
And so you have to agree on highest values collectively.
Yeah.
Another piece that I think is really important is, if it's a difficult transition, if there's some cognition involved, that the family has to stick to the same truthful story.
Yeah.
And I say that in a way that says, I come from the school that says a white lie a little fabrication or an omission of information is not a bad thing for
No.
someone who's struggling with cognition.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to upset someone over and over and over again. Just like there's no reason to take someone's hope away.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And so you do have to come up with some family stories.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be, Mom and Dad, you're at home, and each one of us 3 kids, we drop in, but we're all going to be out of town that week.
Yeah.
We need to look at other options for care.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be that you're going to explore respite care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try the water. Now, you all might be in town still.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be a way to tiptoe into some kind of care community for them on
Right.
a respite basis, which means less than 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't move their stuff in. It's fully furnished. They just get to try on what does it mean to go to a dining room 3 times a day?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to have happy hour on Friday? What does it mean to have
Exactly.
I push a button and they fix my remote control? Yay!
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And
So,
what you're saying is so true. And I think the other thing that I really want to bring up before we close out is be the son and daughter. Don't turn into parenting your parent. And I think I've seen that so often. That's the worst thing to do in the world. It's a recipe for disaster. And I did that to my mother in the early days. I just thought I'd just take control. And that doesn't work.
nope, it doesn't work because they are a living human being that
Mhm.
has had a full life. They've been productive. They've loved you. This is just the next chapter.
Yeah.
Will your languaging have to change a little bit? Yes,
Yeah.
depending upon their story, but they still get a vote. They're still in charge.
Yep.
Do you massage that? Probably.
Mhm.
Mom, have you ever considered having someone come in to your house to clean the house? No, I can still clean my house. Well, it might be a gift that I'd love to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me the joy of giving that gift to you?
Yeah.
They still get to vote. You're
Mhm.
not saying you're a lousy housekeeper. You're not
Yeah.
saying you're going to fall when you're, going up and down the stairs with your laundry, but you're giving them a gift.
Yeah. Yeah. Daphne, that is so important. And I'm so glad that you've been with us this hour. And certainly for everyone listening, Daphne, how do we reach you?
855-734-1500 is my nationwide number. So anyone can give me a call and I can direct you to people within your own state to help you through this journey.
Time to get back to Suzanne and more Answers for Elders.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we have been blessed to have Daphne Davis, the president and CEO of Pinnacle Senior Placements, here to talk about having those conversations. And as we're closing out today, Daphne, what's the number one tip that you want to leave everyone with today?
Keep the joy in the journey of life.
Yeah.
Keep the joy. This next stage of life is only a chapter. And it's not even necessarily the last chapter. There could be many more chapters, but leaving home and looking at other support is not the end. It's an adventure. And if you approach that with that attitude towards your parents, they'll start to get there. They're afraid. They're afraid of change. Acknowledge it, move on, keep smiling.
And how do we reach you?
855-734-1500.
Thanks again, Daphne, for being on the show.
We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.